Hello everyone, my name is Kevin of Kevin Enzo and of DG, and if you know anything about me, this video will make 100% sense to you. It is about one of my favorite topics of all time, and that topic is Doctor Who. So this is based off of a blog that I wrote, but this is the video version of it for anyone who doesn't want to read more than a page. So let's get started, shall we? So I don't know how I'm supposed to approach making a video game, let alone a licensed video game, but I do know that this game must be made. So far, Doctor Who has not had a proper video game that has shown justice to the original source material, and I can't think of any other way than to let the world, aka the internet, know about my idea for this amazing video game. I just really want to play a Doctor Who video game that lets you go from the interior of the TARDIS to the exterior without a loading screen in between. I want it to be a genuine bigger on the inside experience. So without wasting any more time, let me just dive right into what I think the story of this game should be. So the writers of this game can change the story in any way that they see fit, but these are just some ideas that I had that I thought would make an amazing Doctor Who video game. Start off in the interior of the TARDIS. The Doctor is traveling alone, companionless, and it's the current incarnation of the Doctor. He gets a distress call from some unknown source, and being the hero that he is, he goes to answer it. He arrives on a planet that's in the middle of a war and knows immediately that he should not be there, so he turns around to run back to the TARDIS and sees a giant rift in the sky. He begins to run back to the TARDIS immediately, but gets knocked into the console as he runs through the door by an explosion behind him. And this causes a rift in space and time where our video game takes place. When he slams into the console, the TARDIS doors close and immediately begin to take off. You hear the sound of the cloister bell in the background, which lets you know that things are not going well. But alas, he is hurt and begins his regeneration cycle, as all doctors do, and this is where you get to design your very own custom doctor. In a very RPG sense, you get to build your own doctor, from the facial features to the body build, as well as the wardrobe. As well, you get to design your own sonic screwdriver and the TARDIS interior. And the sonic screwdriver I've thought a lot about because I like them a lot. And you can choose, using this as an example, you can choose from the sections of the color of the top of it, the hilt and the extending section, that part where you actually hold on to, and then I'm sure a little flourish of some sort like claws or, readable majiggers. So after you've designed your Doctor, you crash land into Earth in the 1800s. The Doctor stumbles out of the TARDIS with smoke bellowing out of it behind him. He closes the door, turns around, and sees several guns pointed in his face. He raises his hand and gives a smile the way only the Doctor can, but the next scene he is thrown in jail. Of course, the whole way to the jail he protests, but inevitably it fails. After he's in jail, he hears a female voice from the cell next to him. He talks to her for a while, and he doesn't really care why she's in jail, but after a bit, he uses a sonic screwdriver to open the door and escape. This is where you get to make your first decision. You can either let her out, or you can leave her in the jail cell if you think that she might be a problem. If you do let her out, the commotion that follows makes you two separate. Next thing that happens is the Doctor stumbles into a female guard, and she looks a little bit new. She does look well trained, and she never agreed to having the Doctor in jail, so she does help you escape. She's very good at shooting out lights to distract guards, and there's a very small segment there. But the way the Doctor is, another commotion arises and the two get separated. Next, the Doctor is wandering through the streets and finds guards following him, so he dives into a house next to him. He ends up in the room of a 20-some-year-old lord's daughter, and he hides there for a little bit as the guards pass. He breathes a sigh of relief and turns around to see her standing there. The Doctor does his little hello and turns around to immediately walk away, but she's not going to let him off that easy, so she follows him, and the entire time she follows him, she's asking him questions like, who are you, where did you come from, and why were you in my room, you creep? In the same respect, the Doctor is asking her questions, and along with some of the stuff he's already overheard, he finds out that there was an alien invasion and things falling from the sky. And because I'm not very good at writing Doctor Who stories myself, I don't know how he's going to solve this, but he does end up saving the day as usual. And in the end, the Doctor gets the choice of which girl he would like to bring with him. The Lord's daughter, who is very good at communication and talking her way out of situations. The prisoner, who is very good at sneaking and stealing things. Granted, the Doctor doesn't always approve. And the guard, who can use her training and physical abilities to get them out of jams. And as usual, the Doctor swaggers on back into his TARDIS with that girl of your choosing, and you go off into space and time, and the game continues from there. Some story ideas. Now, these aren't really completely fleshed out ideas as of yet, but they're just some things that I would like to see in a game that involves Doctor Who, in a big 3D game. I'm tired of those little 2D side-scrolling things. So I would think that the main enemy of this game would be the Daleks, and I kind of want it to have a main enemy and a bunch of side missions. Sort of like how in Mass Effect 1, the main enemy is Saren and his Geth people, but there's also the Matriarch Benezia and all those side missions. Now I want it for one mission for you to run into Napoleon. I don't know exactly what else to do there. I would like a mission that involves the Weeping Angels. And at the end of this mission, you end up getting zapped back to the London Blitz. And when you're zapped back to the London Blitz, you catch the attention of one Captain Jack Harkness. You end up catching his attention instead of Rose Tyler hanging from a blimp. He goes down there to investigate, and this may be one of the missions that I had thought maybe we could involve some gunplay when you're playing as Jack Harkness instead of the Doctor. In the end, you do get back to the Ninth Doctor's TARDIS, and you bring Jack Harkness back to save Rose Tyler. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, there is an episode in the Ninth Doctor series called The Empty Child, and it is amazing. You should go watch that. You should watch that anyways. Don't worry about this game. Just go watch that instead if you haven't seen it. Next is the gameplay, as I get closer and closer every time. This would be a third-person action-adventure game. It'd be mostly free roam with mission segments. So imagine Mass Effect with less shooting and more puzzle-solving, more communication, the layout of the speech. Another big influence would be Telltale's The Walking Dead type video games, where a lot of your decisions end up taking long-term effects. Most of the time you'd play as the Doctor, but there could be a few segments with the companions, aka Jack Harkness section. If they wanted another shooting section, you could also use River Song at some bits. Dialogue is key in this game. You definitely need to have very good dialogue mechanics. Now, the Doctor only raises a gun on very rare occasions, and thus he talks his way out of a lot of situations. And just as a side thing, bribing could end up being an option if you end up with the Lord's daughter as a companion. There could also be good and evil type options, and I don't necessarily think it should be called good and evil, but that sort of mechanic where you can be more aggressive and forceful, or you could be more charming and schmoozy. Between main story missions, I do think that there should be an open world map type thing where you go into the TARDIS, you choose a planet, as well as there could be a choice of 3 different time zones on each planet. Now, not every planet has a mission, but it would just be nice to go to some of the planets. So as an example of this, there could be current day London, there could be London in the 1700s where you could go back and visit again, or there could be London of the future. And of course, it's always London. Why would it be anything other than London? Yeah. And the story would only really progress when you ended up doing a few of these missions and another distress call type thing would happen, or if you just happen to stumble onto the right place. Also, each mission, I think, should focus on a very specific type of play. So one mission could be very dialogue-oriented, one could be very sneak-oriented. The ones with the companions using their guns would be shooting-oriented. But overall, I want you to be able to use all the skills that you learn in each place. So even if it is very sneak-oriented, you could get out of situations using your dialogue. As well as there could always be the damsel in distress one where the companion gets kidnapped and the Doctor has to go save her, thus taking out those bonuses that the companion brought in. You could also reverse it too, in case you ever wanted to do that. Anyways, to sum everything up, I really don't care whether I get any props for this. I just want to play this game so bad. You have no idea. And it's taken me about 2 years to get everything completely fleshed out and written out and making this video here. But I do feel like this game needs to be made, and it would blow my mind if it actually ended up happening. So please, make this happen somehow, Internet. I'm leaving it up to you. Make this happen. I give you this gift, I give it to you, and then you do with it as you will. Granted, I would love some credit for this, but again, just want to play it. So yeah, that's my Doctor Who video game idea. If you know anyone, or you yourself can get me in touch with anyone to know how to get this game made, I would be so appreciative. I just want this to happen so badly, guys. So you can leave a comment below, you can listen to Kevin Enzo, you can check our website, which there'll be a link somewhere to get you there, which we will update on any information that we get about this. But please, find a way to get this made, because I am just desperate to play this game. I will do anything. I'll do anything. Hey, I'll do anything to get this game made. So thank you all for watching, and we'll see you next time. See you later.